All right, welcome back to the second part of the Half Price Bookstore haul that I got over the past couple weekends. These are all from Half Price Books. The first one was just the books that I found at the Citrus Heights location, which is near Sacramento, if you're not familiar with California or the area. And this one is a little farther away. It's like an hour and a half from me. It's in this one was from Dublin, California. So I'm gonna go through these and then we'll just get right into it. Once again, a reminder, join on Discord for, just the ability to hang out and talk and spend time chatting about books and movies and what have you. It's just a cool place to hang out and more conversation that goes on than in the comments. And then also the link for a Whatnot is down below. If you've never signed up for Whatnot, you have the opportunity to do so and get a free $15 credit towards your account. And that's a place where you can buy things via live auction, and a lot of what I have ends up on Whatnot, so what you see in the videos oftentimes ends up on there and you have a chance to pick it up if you like. So usually stuff sells for less than you'd find it on eBay, so I believe for the most part everybody's getting good deals on stuff, and that's kind of the point of it, I think, and hopefully it continues that way and we can get books into the hands of people who really want to read them. So I've been picking up a bunch of Jonathan Mayberry, and I have the Rot and Ruin series plus a couple other ones from Jonathan, and I found Bad Moon Rising, but I also found a couple other ones recently, and I think this one goes with the other one that I found. So I'm not 100%, but I'm excited. I think the other one's Dead Man's Song. So they have very similar cover, so I think they go together. Okay, I also picked up Future Quest edited by Roger Elwood. It's a short story collection. Looks pretty cool. Lots of great authors in it. So it has Anne McCaffrey, Paul Anderson, Mac Reynolds, Barry Malzberg, Edmund Hamilton, and several others. So good little collection, and it's in really nice shape. So it's nice and crispy. All right, The Mind Parasites by Colin Wilson. The only other one I have by Colin Wilson, I think, is the Space Vampires, and I forget what movie that turned into. We were talking about it the other day. The movie's just terribly cheesy. But I haven't read the Space Vampire book yet, but from what I understand, the book is way better than the movie. All right, another copy of Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Found a few of these recently. I tend to pick them up because a lot of times people want to read them or don't have a copy, so it's just nice. If I find them, I can pass them along on Whatnot. James Blish's Vor. And I actually have, I think, this exact same copy already. So I'll pass one of these along. And this is in good shape. I'd like to read this one. I'll add it. I'm going to add it to my TBR right now, actually. So I'm going to put this one on there. All right. Added to the TBR. If you didn't know, you can't really see them right now because it's kind of blurred out a little bit. But this whole back row that's like right behind me here, not that shelf, but the rest of them, plus all the ones that go that way, are my TBR that I'm hoping to get to at some point. Here's that other one by Jonathan Mayberry, Dead Man's Song. So I'll put these two together so I don't lose them. Okay, Leisure Horror, The Hyde Effect by Steve Vance. And I don't think I have this one. So kind of cool. Excited to get to that. All right, we have Red World by Charles Harness. It is DAW, and it's a very, very nice looking cover. And then you have a zoomed in portion of the cover down there on the back. So very good shape, super crispy. The Dungeon Volume 2 by PJF, Philip Jose Farmer. I think there's at least 6 of these, and I'm pretty sure I have all of them, but I'm not 100%. So it was in the clearance section, so I grabbed it. This one I've actually had in my eBay watch list, and I was like debating buying it the other day, and then I happened to find it, so I was super excited. This one is Stephen Law's Ghost Train, and it has the embossed train there and the tracks as well. I'm pretty stoked to get to this one. It is a Tor horror. Found a very clean copy of Blood Heritage by Sherry S. Tepper. Look at that. And this thing is crispy clean. It is a Tor. It says Tor Books, but I'm pretty sure it's Tor Horror. No, it's not labeled as Tor Horror up there. Very clean. This one was $1.99, which is just insane. So great deal. Another copy. So on the last haul, I had the same exact one, Trouble with Lichen by John Wyndham. And I had not seen this. There's some fuzzies on it. I'd not seen this cover before, so definitely a good grab. The House in November by Keith Laumer. So pretty cool. I've read a couple Keith Laumer books. One I really enjoyed. The other one was kind of middle of the road for me. Retief and the Warlords by Keith Laumer. All right, The Virgin Planet by Paul Anderson. I believe he literally lands on a planet of all women. There's that one without the sticker. And it says, he lands, one man alone on a planet ruled by women. Does he face worship, love, or death? So there's the back cover. John Lymington, The Grey Ones and A Sword Above the Night, a double science fiction. I have The Sword Above the Night. That's on my TBR already, actually. Different, obviously different cover because it's by itself. And there's a big fat Newport Newport ad. Let's do this without my face in the way. Newport ad in the middle. So it's probably going to maybe start splitting right there at that point, at some point. I'm the best. John Lymington, The Coming of the Strangers. Paid up for this one. I think it's fairly rare, so I may be wrong, but it's one that I definitely did not have. Cool little bald guy cover. All right, Frights, edited by Kirby McCauley. This is a short story collection that contains stuff from Robert Bloch, Brian Lumley, and Ramsey Campbell. So, and then several others. Blossom by Andrew Vaux, and I think this is a mystery, like a crime mystery. Vaux, I read some short stories from Vaux, and he did a lot of comics, and then other different stories. I forget, he was like a federal prosecutor or something like that. Don't quote me on that. It was something like, it's not going to say it on here, is it? Anyways, had some neat job, but did a lot of work with like inner city stuff. So I wrote about that a lot, as well as did a lot of charity work for that kind of stuff. So The Parasite War by Tim Sullivan. I grabbed this one just because I thought it was one that I might want to read. I know nothing about it, but it looked really cool. All right, Caviar by Ted Sturgeon. The Best from Fantasy and Science Fiction, edited by Edward Furman. Cool little puzzle looking cover on the front there. Robert Bloch, Samuel Delaney, and guess who? Thomas Dish in here. So Damon Knight, John Varley, and Jane Yolen. So this one will be with me. It does have a torn, hard to see there, but a torn back page. So that's okay. I'll just throw some tape on it. The Disciple by Laird Koenig. 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 Laird Koenig. Disciple. And I think this one, it says Bantam. It looks like a horror novel, but yeah, I would guess that's in the horror section there. We have The House of Thunder by Leigh Nichols. Cool looking one too. Sorry about my neighbors yelling if you can hear them. Don't do that, guy down. Looks like a medical thriller, almost. Keith Laumer, The Star Treasure. So I got quite a bit of Laumer now. This one, I thought this cover was awesome, and I don't know if this is the same as like Death World and it's just renamed or something, but Planet of the Damned by Harry Harrison. Very cool cover. I mean, that cover is awesome. So I was pretty excited for that one. All right, it must be noon because I hear the siren going off outside. They do a test siren because we're in a pretty bad fire area. So they do a test siren the first Saturday of the month, and it's loud. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it's loud. All right, I found also Earthmen and Strangers, and this one is really cool looking. Great cover, and look at how many people are on this sucker. I mean, Paul Anderson, Aldous Budrys, Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, Harlan Ellison, Randall Garrett, Damon Knight, Eric Frank Russell, Robert Silverberg. Now, that's a great lineup. So I'm excited for this one. Also, you're always excited for all of them, Ryan. Yeah, well, I'm easily pleased, I guess. I don't know. All right, we got City of the Trash. City of the Trash by Jack Vance, and I'm pretty sure I have this one already. So it is the first in Planet of Adventure. So I think some of them have just the white border on them, or it's white in here or something. I don't remember, but I think there's a few different styles, but those are cool copies. Okay, Nebula Winners number 12. So edited by Gordon Dixon. That one's really cool too. James Tiptree Jr. in there, Thomas Monteleone, John Varley, Joe Haldeman. So lots of cool ones. Skirmish by Clifford Simak. This one this first time I found this one, I think. I may have found it a long time ago, but I haven't seen it for a really long time. And it was a whole 99 cents. Look at that. That's what I mean by sometimes half-price books. Well, sometimes they're really overpriced, and like sometimes they're like really underpriced. I just don't get it. I think that probably sat there for a long time and they just kept marking it down or something. So Zelazny, Damnation Alley. I thought that was a cool cover. I have not read this one. The other cover that I've seen has like a truck or something on it and then like a dragon flying above, I believe is the other cover. This cover is way better. That makes me want to read it. So Simak, Shakespeare's Planet. And Simak, I just read my first full novel by Simak finally, which was City. So I'm excited to get to more Simak. I really enjoyed the writing style. So I have not heard of Shakespeare's Planet. There's a few. Waystation I want to read, and that one will probably be on there. The Metal Monster by A.A. Merritt. This book is now in public domain. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy that this book was written over 100 years ago. So original copyright 1920. So that's nuts. And this is in super good shape. Obviously this wasn't printed in 1920, but that's really cool. I'm kind of thinking about doing this one as an audiobook since it is public domain. Since I can't do the other ones that I wanted to do, and we'll see. I may do that. I don't know, but either way I want to read it. It's a little bit bigger than your normal you know, like these guys here. Anybody read this one? Let me know if it's worth doing or not. Give it a shot. All right, Alien vs. Predator by Tim Levin, Armageddon. You know, I like my alien stuff, and I don't think I have that one. I have a couple of AVP ones, but I don't think I have that one. And the ones I have are actually an older print looking. So, Alien Invasion. This is part of the Rage War, and this is by Tim Levin. At some point, I kind of want to do a video talking about all the different alien books and what orders they go in and which ones you can read standalone, which ones you can't, because it's been confusing for me and I really want to read them all at some point. And I'm finding these ones that end up going in between ones that I read. I don't think it really matters, but it's still, I kind of like to read things in order. So I don't know, I may do that to help somebody out. Thieves World, Book 10, Aftermath. Do also have a few of these. Cool copy of Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. And I have read this one. It's very enjoyable. Really good. And I do have a couple copies floating around. So, ooh, I found another copy of Secret People by John Wyndham. I did not know I had two of those. That's awesome. Great. That's an awesome cover. Tanya Huff. This is the Blood Books, Volume 3. And I do have all of these somewhere. I don't have each individual book by itself. There's 6 of them in total. So there's 3 omnibuses with 2 books in each one. Covers are great. Makes me want to read it. But I just don't know anything about it. I've never heard anybody talk about those. So I don't know. I may read those at some point. Camelot 30K by Robert Forward. I also have this somewhere floating around, and that one was in the clearance section, so yeah, I'm gonna grab it. The Dungeon Volume 1 by PJF, so just trying to get that full complete set of the Dungeon series. Like I said, pretty sure there's 6 of them. Alien Stars, edited by Elizabeth Mitchell. So this has like CJ Cherry, has Joe Haldeman and Timothy Zahn. There's 3 different stories in there from them. A copy that I'd never seen of A.E. von Vought's Slan. So I have a couple copies, but I have never seen that one. So also one I'd like to read. I wonder if when was this one copyrighted? Original copyright a little later, 1940. Okay. Not long until that one's going to be public domain. Isn't that nuts? Jeez. All right. James P. Hogan's Inherit the Stars. I also have a couple of these. If you ever find this one in hardcover, it's a pretty rare one, and can be quite valuable. 89 cents for this bad boy. So I have a better looking copy, and I also think I found one in the upcoming book haul too that's better looking. One of my favorite movies of all time, Pitch Black. Love this movie, and this one is novelized by Frank Lauria. The Legion of Space by Jack Williamson. I have a ton of Jack Williamson, but I had never seen that cover, and I thought it was awesome. So I thought that was a gorgeous cover. The Thieves World, Uneasy Alliances, Book 11. Yep, Book 11 it looks like. Very cool copy. I had not seen this one before. Beyond by Ted Sturgeon. Look at that cover. That's awesome. That's a new one to me. Beautiful green sprayed edges on it. Okay, I have this one already, but it's a cool little collection. It is 11 Great Horror Stories. And includes the Oblong Box and Dunwich Horror by H.P. Lovecraft. Hal Clement's Close to Critical. Very cool cover on this also. And this one's awesome. City. Look at that cover. Not a cover I've ever actually seen before. So I have an older copy of it. And let's see if this one. So some of them, if you don't know, there was 8. It's kind of broken up into 8 parts. It was serialized by in different magazines, each individual one, so both, number 1, number 2, all the way up to 8. Then later, like 20, I think it was 20 years later, when John W. Campbell died, they created a kind of a memorial short story collection, and Simak was asked to write something for that, and he said, well, I think since all of mine were in John Campbell's amazing or astonishing magazine, whichever one it was, I forget what it was, or analog, I want to, maybe I should write another part to the city story. So later on, he wrote a ninth portion of it, and that one is part of some of the books that were printed later, and some of the original copies didn't contain the ninth story. It was kind of like an epilogue to it in a way, and it's very, I think it's very good. I think it adds to it. So this one does have it in it. So this one has that ninth story in there. So that's cool. All right. The Female Man, Joanna Russ. This one's a little bit of tear right here at the bottom, but not bad. Booby alert, look out. Frank Herbert Soul Catcher. I hadn't seen this cover before. Thought that was cool. So, author of Dune, obviously. Rebel Dawn by A.C. Crispin, and this is volume 3 of the Han Solo trilogy. I think I have the other two. Oh. Hey, and it comes with a Star Wars sticker. Look at that. So, cool little Star Wars sticker to go with it. All right, Rebel Dawn. So, part of that Han Solo trilogy. This is volume 3 of that trilogy. Case and Dreamer by Ted Sturgeon. This one I have on my TBR already. Victim Prime by Robert Sheckley. I found the other portions of this series the other day. Generation, which is a short story collection. Very cool. Has so many great authors in it. It's beautiful green sprayed edges again. And it has James Tiptree Jr., a short by Piers Anthony, which I don't think I've ever read a short by Piers Anthony. Gene Wolfe, David Bunch, Barry Malzberg, another by Tiptree, Vonda McIntyre, Ed Bryant, Chelsea Quinn Yarbrough, and David Gerald. So very cool little collection. The rest of these are trade paperbacks or hardcover. So, all right, I also found another copy of Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Me and my daughter read this one last year, or my daughter and I, excuse me, read this one last year. We also read the next one in the series called Scarlet, and Crass is the one that we're going to read after that, which we probably should do soon. She's finishing Girl with All the Gifts right now, so we both read that one, and so maybe we'll do Crass after. But anyways, super good. Cinder was awesome. It's YA, but it's a kind of a retelling sort of different like princess stories from like what you would say like Disney. Like, so this one's Cinderella, and then the next one is Little Red Riding Hood, and then Cress is Rapunzel, and so on and so forth. And they're very, very good. I really enjoyed it. We were both super into it. This one's kind of beat up, but I had given my copy to somebody else because who we call our grandma wanted to read it. She reads like me. You know, she comes to visit and she, you know, tries to shop my library and get some cool books to read. So I was like, oh, you got to read these ones. I know you'll love it. So I gave her Cress, or I gave her Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress. Those are the 3 that I had. And so she read, I think she read Cinder and Scarlet the time that, you know, while she was here for a few days, all in just like boop. So she totally loved them too, and I'll probably try to find her the rest of the series to read. So it was just an enjoyable book. YA, and if you think you're too cool to read it, well, then you're too cool for me. I also found this is a vintage horror, and I'm assuming it's reprinted into a newer print. It's called The Vengeance by Robert Sloan. Oh, it's a sequel. So, a novel of horror and revenge, and the sequel to the terrifying A Nice Place to Live. So now I gotta buy that one. Yeah, I don't think I have Nice Place to Live. This one was printed, oh, it says printed in 1983. Is this the original print? Huh. Anyways, so novel of horror Let me know if you've read that, or actually if you've read A Nice Place to Live and if it's worth reading or picking up. I had this one on my eBay watch list also, and it's Creature by Bill Pronzini. And I think in one of the last hauls I had Werewolf by Bill Pronzini. There's a bunch of different ones, and so I'm kind of stoked to get to them all. One of them's called Mummy by Bill Pronzini, and then another one's called Voodoo. And I think there's probably a couple more too, but they're cool looking, and just want to have them all and read through them all. Let's see, like this one just has like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Joe Lansdale, Richard Lehman in it, William Hope Hodgson, Robert Bloch, Barry Malzberg, Edward Hotch, Abram Davidson, and several others. So it's a pretty cool little collection, and I just love that cover. Okay, also found The Engineer by Neil Asher, and this one, I looked it up, and it apparently is a hard cover to find, a rare cover to find. It's got a decent value on eBay. I don't think the book itself, The Engineer, is hard to find, just this cover apparently. So I don't know if any have ever sold or anything, but I thought it was cool. I have not read Asher yet. I know, I'm pretty sure Science Fiction Reads really enjoys Asher. I think I've seen it on his channel a bunch of times mentioning or talking about books, Asher books that he's read, some of the older videos from way back when, and so that's really the kind of the main place I've heard Asher recommended. All right, then I found Irrationalia by Anderson Prunty. Irrationalia by Anderson Prunty. And I don't really know anything about this one. And finally, this one I was super excited for. This one's staying with me. I'm very, very excited to get to this one. It is Zombies hardcover. Encounters of the Hungry Dead. Encounters with the Hungry Dead. Edited by John Skip. And I've been on a little bit of a zombie kick lately. I love everything zombies, pretty much. And this has tons of authors in it. So it has an introduction by John Skip, but it also has a short story by Stephen King called The Return of Timmy Batterman. I'm sure that's found in one of his other collections, but I haven't read that one yet. Ray Bradbury in here, Robert Bloch, Ted Sturgeon with a story called It, Steve Duffy, Neil Gaiman, Dennis Etchison, let's see, Steve Tem, another by Joe Lansdale, David Shaw, Robert McCammon, Jack Ketchum, Kathy Koja, Max Brooks, Poppy Z. Bright, John Skip, Lisa Morton, Douglas Winter, and several others. So this is a huge volume. And it's just chock full of stuff. There's illustrations mixed throughout, and it just looks awesome. So I'm super excited for this. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you. Got one more book haul coming up right after this one from the Half Price Bookstore that is in Concord. That one I will get out to you shortly. So like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Join the Discord. See ya on the next one.